I mean, I used to walk by the Bay State all the time, and you know, you'd always be like, what is going on in there? Just said tap room, you know, like, and these stairs going up, it was just dark inside and it looked like a throwback. And it was just like, you know, you'd look in, if you looked in the window, there'd be a couple of like, you know, old, like, you know, knife factory, you know, retirees, like, you know, drinking their pension away. It's just like, it just looked dark and, you know, and dismal. And I remember, I like telling this story, but I hate telling this story because it's like, it's sort of like, it has nothing to do with me. It just happens to be the circumstances that I was in. But when I was a kid, I decided, like, maybe about, like, you know, 12 or 13 years old, I had this thing. I was like, if I ever meet Matt Dillon, I'm going to punch him in the nose because of all the characters he played, like, you know, Moody and My Bodyguard, and, like, you know, the kid, what was his kid's name in Over the Edge, and, you know, the kid in Little Darlings, whatever. It was like he was always just played this like jerk, and I was like, this guy's got to be the biggest jerk. And like, if I ever bump into him, I'm gonna, like, you know, give him, like, and it was like 92 or something like that, 92, 93, and we were rehearsing in my basement. A record was kind of finished. And I was playing with Jay and I can't remember, and Kurt Fedora was playing bass or whatever. We were trying to play some shows. I think we were going to play a tavern show or something. We were putting this thing together, and I come up from my basement and there's these guys standing in our kitchen, and I'm like, hey, what's up? And they're like, is Jay here? And I'm like, yeah, he's downstairs, he's packing up. And this guy comes up and is like, hey, I'm Matt. And I'm like, oh, like, well, hi. and fortunately I didn't follow through with my promise to myself, and he turned out to be super cool, super nice guy. He stayed for a week. He was directing some dinosaur video and was staying around and hanging out. But like, one of the first nights he was there, he's like, can we go out somewhere where it's like where nobody goes? Because it's like, you know, sometimes it's just easier if you go to a place where, you know, people aren't gonna just want to go out, get some drinks, and, you know, not be bothered. And so the first thing was like, oh yeah, we'll go to the tap room, you know, like, because nobody's ever there. And so we walked in and sat down at the bar, and then I hear, hey, is that Zeke? And I turn around, and it's Eric Gaffney. Has a tendency in my world to, like, kind of rise up from the mist in weird places, like kind of perfect places in a way. And he's always just there. It's like, you know, it's like if you say his name 3 times, there he is, like, you know. And so Eric's sitting there. He's the only other person in the bar. And he's like, oh, hey, how's it going? He's like, you know, they're going to be doing shows here soon. And I was like, oh, really? He's like, yeah, I think Trailer Park's playing here next week or something. I was like, oh, cool. I'm looking around going, like, shows in this place? Like, where are they going to, you know, it's like the plates on the wall, and I was like, oh, this is not going to go well. And he's like, yeah, this guy Mal Thursday's doing it. I'm like, oh, Mal Thursday. Oh, yeah. I'm like, oh, that guy. Like, I had a beef with him because, like, he had made fun of me on the radio for not being 21, like, my first year in college. And, like, you know, like Matt Dillon, I held this beef with Matt. I was like, if I ever meet Mal Thursday, I'm going to punch me, like, so whatever. I was like, this is never going to work. But that's where I first, like, you know, kind of walked into the Bay State and was like, oh, this is like, you know, that's happening. And I look back at it and I'm like, oh yeah, that was a pretty, you know, I was wrong about everything.